Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Faith, and today guys, I'll be checking out Candace Owens as she reacts to this video that is titled "This video proves that kids needs to be spanked." And you guys, I'm excited for this. If you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please consider subscribing, give this video a massive thumbs up, comment, share, and all that good stuff. And without much ado, let's see what Candace Owens has for us in this video.
Happy Monday, everybody. The question of the day today: do children need to be spanked? Look around, see the way people are behaving. You're on social media. What has gone on? Maybe it's people are not getting spanked anymore. It's a very controversial topic, even amongst conservatives, about whether or not children should be spanked. And here's what I will say. I don't really have the answer here. I did a little poll here. I asked 15 people that I work with, were you spanked when you were a kid? And everyone answered yes, they were spanked. And I would say these are relatively good employees that we have here at the Daily Wire. They seem to have their heads on straight. I was definitely spanked, in case you were wondering. I was very spanked. I had the kind of mom that would throw a shoe at you and then make you bring the shoe back to her if she missed. And then you kind of had to dodge the shoe as you're trying to give it back to her. You were scared because then she could throw it any time and you're trying to sprint away from her. I mean, me and my sisters, and my brother were definitely spanked. And some people, depending on whether you lean left or right, would say that I turned out pretty okay. I think discipline works. There's no question that within my household, I believe in discipline. And I'm always shocked when I come across these people and they are applying for a babysitting job and they want to know whether or not it's okay for them to tell our kids no. Like, of course, you can tell our children no. And also, if my son does this, he should go into timeout. So discipline is a big thing in our household, but I will admit that I have not spanked my children. They seem a little too young. And also, I think personally that I can control my children psychologically. You know, when I say to my son that you're going to go to timeout, he instantly seems very upset, and timeouts have been extremely effective, is what I would say. When I put my son into timeout, he acts like I'm pouring acid on him. He absolutely hates it. He screams at the top of his lungs. And when I take him out of it, he's reformed. He's actually reformed. He doesn't do whatever it was that he was doing, and the threat of timeout seems to loom over him very heavily. My daughter, she's 1, she's way too young, but obviously when the time comes and she really comprehends what she's doing, we intend to discipline her. What about spankings? What about actually hitting your children? As I said, even the conservative community is divided on this, but I can tell you what we are not divided on is the fact that something has gone amiss in America. And I think that the people that come from a generation of when we were all getting spanked are really understanding that it's the lack of discipline within household that is leading to so many things that we are seeing today. We're going to cover a couple of stories that are such an example of this. First, an update. So some months ago, we covered the story of Tanner Cook, a 21-year-old who runs the YouTube channel Classified Goons. And on this YouTube channel, what he essentially does is he harasses people. He harasses them to the point that, of course, they're going to want to hit him. And in one circumstance, things got very extreme. Alan Coley probably still is, was a delivery man, 31 years old, and he was just doing his job, picking up food in a food court at a mall when Tanner Cook needed some content, more content for his YouTube channel, and began to harass him. I'm going to show you the video, and Alan Coley made the decision to shoot Tanner Cook. Take a look.
What?
Hey, quit thinking about my twinkle.
What's that mean?
Hey, quit thinking about my twinkle.
No.
Hey, quit thinking about my
Get on my face and call house on. Stop.
Hey, quit thinking about my twinkle.
Stop!
Now, to be clear, Tanner Cook is not a small guy. I don't know what I would think if this individual came up to me, if I told him to stop 3 times. So you can see when you watch this video, there's actually 3 men, if you think about it, that are confronting him. You've got one person that's recording. You've got Tanner Cook that is being the aggressor here. And you've got, I guess, his sidekick next to him. It's always very easy when we're on the show, we always talk about this, to say what you would have done in that circumstance, but you don't know what you would have done in that circumstance because it's all happening in the moment. Now, I know that if I was being aggressive with that individual, I would have instantly thought this is a crazy person and they're going to harm me, because I see these videos every single day. People that don't think quickly and don't try to defend themselves sometimes end up dead in a blink of an eye, because the person who's following you has completely lost their marbles and maybe they are going to shoot you. You don't know what he's doing here. When you hit somebody and you say stop and you say I'm going to call the cops, and that does not at all deter them and they keep coming forward, you have to believe that they are obviously not of sound mind. You wouldn't think, oh, this is a harmless YouTube prank. Why would you think that? That would be bizarre, to think that somebody has a YouTube channel and is filming you and is following you and is not stopping because they want some likes and some clicks. And so this individual, again, who was just doing his job, Alan Coley, who was trying to pick up some food so he could deliver to somebody else, made the decision to shoot him. And what ended up happening was this went to trial. And when I covered this initially, I said, I hope that the jury does not convict Alan Coley. Alan Coley did not have a history, a criminal history. He wasn't a person that had been in trouble in the past. He genuinely was just trying to do his job and obviously felt threatened by these three gentlemen. So what ended up happening was he shot him. Fortunately, and I'm saying fortunately, Tanner Cook survived the shooting. He spent several days in intensive care after the bullet pierced through his stomach and his liver. And the jury found, after listening to both sides, that Alan Coley was not guilty. He was acquitted of aggravated malicious wounding in the shooting of Tanner Cook, but he was found guilty on a lesser charge of shooting into an occupied dwelling. A judge will hear arguments to set aside this conviction at a hearing next month. His lawyer is appealing against it. If found guilty of this lesser firearms count, he will face up to 10 years in prison. Now, one of Coley's defense attorneys said that his client felt menaced by the 6'4" tall Cook during the confrontation, which obviously was designed to provoke a reaction and to draw viewers to his YouTube channel. However, the person who was representing Tanner Cook said, look, it was just a prank. He was obviously not going to harm him. Again, who would know in the moment? What I want to say about this, and I'm very, very happy that Alan Coley is not going to be convicted of aggravated malicious wounding in this circumstance, and I think that Tanner Cook, who is 21 years old, will learn a valuable lesson, is that whenever I see these sorts of videos, I wonder, who are the parents? Who are the parents? When you see a video of somebody in the mall filming somebody for reaction, and by the way, his pranks on his YouTube channel are way worse than this. You know, he does things to Uber drivers. He actually tends to find blue-collar workers, because I guess he thinks it's funny, to see if he can get them angry or get them excited or get them to react or get them to hit him as he continues to pursue a further reaction from them. And in this situation, he really sort of effed around and found out. Well, it's rare that we get to hear from the parents of these children. And I was astonished as I was looking at the update to this case, and it seems that the father of Tanner Cook is very much on his side, believes that what his son does is completely harmless, thinks that God has bigger plans for him. Here is his dad on Fox News explaining why he was disappointed with the verdict in this circumstance. Take a listen.
Where's the line where it became a life-threatening situation where he had to use deadly force? If you see that line that was crossed, then you can think like that. But if you watch the video, at no point do you go, oh, there's where it became a physical point where this guy had to defend himself. That never happened.
His father also went on to say this. He said, quote, they were making a video at the mall and trying to have fun with people. And this guy wasn't having fun. There was a phone that was around him and they were interviewing or talking to him and he didn't like it. And he pulled out this gun and shot my son. Jeremy emphasized that his family's faith in God will get them through this trying time. He said, quote, we need restoration, we need healing, and we need to come together. I pray for Alan Coley and pray that he finds God in this. I believe that God saved our son's life and he could have easily died, but that's not the outcome. God has plans for my son. So he is looking at the situation and is fully placing the blame on Alan Coley because his son was just having fun. And I think that if you perceive going around and harassing well-meaning people who are just trying to do their jobs as having a little bit of fun, just having some fun, then you're not a good parent. And this is the reason why your child is doing this. This is the reason why your child thinks it's a good idea to start a YouTube channel harassing people, because you didn't raise him right. And not only did you fail to raise him right, you are also failing to make him understand what he did wrong in this situation. You are telling him God has a bigger plan for him. You're telling him that actually the incident at the mall in which he got shot is further proof that God wants him to keep going, because otherwise he would have died. You are completely misrepresenting everything to your son, the facts to your son. Your son should be growing from this situation and recognizing that, yes, it is sad and it is unfortunate the situation escalated so quickly. But also, your son behaved like a complete jerk. And he got a reaction from someone who was obviously understandably fearful, because he doesn't know your son. He doesn't know the two goons that are with your son. He doesn't know this is a YouTube channel that's meant to be pranking individuals for clicks and for views. So yes, I think the jury came to the right decision in this circumstance, but also that what this proves is that we are facing a crisis in this country of bad parenting. So whether you believe that children should be spanked or children should be disciplined, you cannot not see that what we have around us is an abundance of a lack of discipline, an abundance of children that are behaving like children, even in their adult years, because they have parents that are telling them that it's okay. It is coddle culture in America. Right now, his father is coddling him publicly. He's saying, you did no wrong. God just has bigger plans for you. It's too bad that that guy who was just doing his job didn't know how to have a little bit of fun. Yeah, we're going to have even more, another story of a young woman in just a little bit as we get into topics du jour. But what I have to say is, please, ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching this show, discipline your children. That's all I'm going to say about that.
You guys, that was such an interesting one from Candace Owen. As for me, I'll say that every kid needs to be spanked no matter what, because if you don't correct these children while they are young, they are going to go out of hand, and spanking them once in a while is not maltreating them. It's not something that we haven't heard about before. And you guys, let me know what you think about spanking kids. Are you the kind of parent that spank your children when they misbehave, or you are the one that just let it slide? As for me, I always spank my son, and I wouldn't even stop anytime soon. And you guys, I agree with everything that Candace Owen said in this video. I really enjoyed her piece of advice to parents. Parents of these days, they feel that when their kids are being spanked, maybe they are being maltreated, but that is not the case here. Spank your kids when the need arises. And I really enjoyed every minute of this video. If you guys totally enjoyed watching, give this video a massive thumbs up, comment, share, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.